In this video, we're going to be going over exactly how much dividend income I received in the month of August from my dividend portfolio. And to analyze this, we're going to be jumping into my do-it-yourself investor toolkit. And there's a whole lot to unpack, as you can see right here. We have our investment dashboard, we have our dividend dashboard, we have our dividend calendar, our daily dividend calendar, and a few other things we might want to look at as well. Now, if you've watched the channel before, you know typically when I analyze my monthly dividend income, we look at my dividend portfolio tracker that I created a while back. But because I released this do-it-yourself investor toolkit just a few weeks ago on the channel, I am going to be analyzing it with this. This is one of the most complete trackers that I've seen on all of YouTube. If you'd like to be able to download this spreadsheet or any of my other spreadsheets, then you can head over to my Patreon page at the link in the description. But let's go ahead and zoom in and we will start looking at my dividend portfolio. Now, if we look right here, you can see current portfolio value for my dividend portfolio is right at $33,000. Now, it has dove down quite a bit just in the past few days. We can see just in the past 5 days alone, the S&P 500 is down about 4%. So my portfolio value was quite a bit higher just a few days ago, but it has dipped. Because of this, it's down about, let's see, $350, but when we include the dividends I've received over the past year, we can see my portfolio is up about 1.67%. Now, I know that doesn't sound great at first glance, but when you consider the fact year to date, the S&P 500 is down about 16 to 17%, and in the past year, the S&P 500 is down 12%. That is pretty phenomenal returns, and that's one of the huge benefits of value dividend growth investing, as we can see right here. Now, we have a lot of charts that we want to break down. What you can see right here, I have a stocks breakdown, I have a crypto breakdown. I'm not currently looking at any cryptocurrencies, but you can track it on the spreadsheet. And then we can see current cash position right here. So let's go ahead and zoom in just a little bit more. But we can see my allocation right now. So far, I have almost 80% of my capital tied up in stocks and then 20% in cash. I think that's pretty fair. I'm pretty aggressive typically, but I think there are going to be opportunities in the market in the future. So I am going to keep my cash position pretty close to 20%. Now, if we come over here, we're going to look at a chart that is my allocation by individual stocks. And the first thing you'll notice is this company right here, Microsoft, takes up a pretty large portion of my dividend portfolio. I'm a huge believer in the company. Long-term, short-term, and dividend growth, just from a value perspective, absolutely love the company. So I am comfortable with that company taking up a pretty large chunk of my dividend portfolio overall. If we come over here, we can see we have a Vanguard ETF taking up about 12.5%. So that's a pretty large chunk. I probably will focus on increasing that position in the future. And then over here, we can see another position, Coca-Cola, 8%, one of my larger positions. Now, the reason that this is a larger position for me is not actually because I invested so much capital, but because I've seen so much price appreciation. If we come over here and look at my costs by market value, we can see Coca-Cola right here. Again, if we come over here and look at my growth, we can see Coca-Cola, one of my largest growing positions at almost 27%. So I was able to buy into this company at a really great price, and it has paid dividends literally and in every single way possible. Now, moving forward, we can see we have a chart that's going to show us my total loss amount and my total win amount right here. And this is just kind of a chart where we can visualize how much of my stocks have been gaining and how much have been decreasing. Now, like I said, my portfolio has declined in value quite a bit, so we can see total loss amount right now is about 1,560, but the total win amount is about 1,205, and that's why my portfolio, without including dividends, we can see is down slightly. Now, you have to keep in mind, I am a value dividend investor. I'm investing for the long term. So short-term market fluctuations don't really bother me. What's more important to me is finding the true intrinsic value of companies and making sure I'm investing with a margin of safety. Now, if we come down here and look a little bit lower, we can see total holdings for my dividend portfolio currently sitting at 33. Now, stock allocation by industry. This is just another way to look at the diversification of your dividend portfolio. You can see information technology takes up a pretty large chunk at about 28%. Now, that's obvious why that is. Like we said, Microsoft takes up a large position of my dividend portfolio. When you throw in the fact I have Apple, information technology is going to take up a pretty large amount. Now, ETFs currently at about 20.9%. This position probably will be increasing in the future. I think, ETFs, index funds, always a great option for all types of investors, but you can see financials takes up a pretty large amount as well, and consumer staples. And now the last thing we are going to look at is my future portfolio outlook tab. And this is a really cool built-in tool that I have added to this tracker. And you can see we can set it to where we reinvest dividends and not reinvest dividends. So if we don't reinvest dividends, you can see all of this data is going to update automatically. And if we click on reinvesting dividends, it updates automatically as well. Now you're probably wondering, where does this data pull from? Well, if we come over here and we look at my portfolio projection tab right here, And if you've watched the channel before, this is probably something you've seen, but essentially what we can do is we can project out what our future portfolio is going to look like based on some variables that we're going to plug in. So we're going to plug in my starting portfolio size. So right now it's about $33,000. Like I said, I'm expecting a price growth rate of about 7%. That's somewhat conservative. I think higher than that is possible, but we're also assuming a $2,500 monthly contribution. I know that's extremely aggressive, and like I said, a monthly contribution, you can adjust that to lump sum if you like, and a dividend growth rate of 7%. Now that is a very high dividend growth rate, but I'm really focusing on investing into quality dividend growth companies right now. Once we plugged in all these variables, all this data is going to automatically be plugged in, and it's going to update automatically on our investment dashboard tab. So we can see exactly what our future portfolio outlook is going to look like when we reinvest dividends. So we can see just 15 years from now, I can expect to make almost $43,000 in dividend income. That's pretty unbelievable. My total dividend income received will be about $256,000 up to that point, and my portfolio value would be over $1.24 million. That is pretty unbelievable after just 15 years of dividend growth investing. Now let's move forward and look at 30 years out, and this is where things get really crazy. We could see I'd be expecting about $240,000 in yearly dividend income. The total dividend income I received up to that point would be over $2 million, and my portfolio value would be over $7 million. Let's go ahead and move forward and look at what everybody wants to see, which is the dividend dashboard. And there's a lot to unpack here as well, but let's go ahead and hit the highlights. We can see my expected yearly dividend income is now $1,229. My all-time dividend income, $1,269, and I hit a huge milestone this past month. My average monthly dividend income is now over $100. This is something I've been working towards for a while, so I think that's a huge accomplishment. Now here we can see my current portfolio dividend yield currently sitting at 3.68%. I think that's a pretty solid spot. It might lower a little bit if I continue to invest into dividend growth companies, but I am happy with the current portfolio dividend yield. Now here we can see my portfolio value over time, and I started tracking it back in February of 2021, and it has shot up quite a bit a little bit more stagnant over the past few months, but the market has been pretty choppy and has had a pretty large recent decline. Now my historical monthly dividend income. Now obviously this is why a lot of you have looked at this video and you want to see exactly how much dividend income I made in the month of August. You can see right here I made $106 from my dividend portfolio in the month of August. And keep in mind, that's from a $33,000 portfolio with a 3.68% dividend yield. Now, if I were to be really more aggressive with my dividend investments, I could probably get it up to a 8, 9, or 10% dividend yield and get this up to about $3,000 a year in dividend income. But since I'm a value dividend growth investor, it's going to help me out a lot more long term with that high dividend growth rate. And that is what's going to allow me to get back over to my investment dashboard to really shoot up the yearly dividends I'll be receiving, 15, 20, 25, and 30 years from now. I think it's one of the best ways to achieve financial freedom. Now right here we can see my dividend income by industry, and you can see financials is taking up a pretty large chunk at 29%, real estate at about 16.4%, we have information technology at 11.4%, and that's ETF at about 12%. Other than that, it's pretty fairly well diversified. Then we have my dividend yield on cost chart. We can see I do have some aggressive investments I made quite some time ago, like AllianceBernstein. I bought in at a really good price there. But most of these companies are going to be dividend growth companies, that you can see, with lower dividend yields. And the final chart we're going to look at here is my dividend income by stock. And this is just a way to see exactly how much each stock is going to pay me out yearly in dividend income. So you can see pretty large position here in ACRE at over $100. Another one with OHI at almost $100. But other than that, again, pretty fairly well diversified. A lot of companies bringing me in the range of $20 to $30. Now let's go ahead and jump over and look at my dividend calendar. This is an extremely important way to track your dividend income. If you're not doing it, I highly suggest you do it, but it's going to allow you to easily see exactly how much each month you're being paid in dividends, how much each stock has paid you over the entire year in dividends, and most importantly, it's going to allow you to see your dividend growth over time when reinvesting dividends. So let me show you an example. If we jump over here, you can see I have invested in O. It's paid me out about $47.34 in dividend income year to date, but you can see right here, each month that dividend payout is increasing as I reinvest my dividends. So this is a really cool way to see your dividend growth over time. But in the month of August, we can see exactly which stocks pay me dividends. We had Apple at about $1.38, AB $6.20. We had EPD at a little over $15. We had MAIN about $1.59. fairly high dividend payment from NLY at $13.09. We had a $6 dividend payment, a $24.40 dividend payment, $4.69, $14.84, $1.73, and $7.89. If we scroll down just a little bit more, we can see I had 3 other dividend payments ranging from $2 to $3 to around $4. So pretty solid month overall, receiving over $100 in dividend income. Let's go ahead and jump on our last thing, and that's going to be our daily dividend calendar. And essentially, this is going to allow us to see exactly what days we were paid dividends and how much. So we can see August 1st, pretty high day at $37.65. August 15th, pretty high day at $32.04. But other than that, not really too many high days in dividend income, kind of spread out overall. But there you have it. That is exactly how much dividend income I received in the month of August from a $33,000 portfolio. Go ahead and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you'd like to be able to download this spreadsheet, then you can head over to my Patreon page at the link in the description. This spreadsheet makes it extremely easy to track all of your stocks, your crypto, and your dividends. Much of the process is completely automated. If you'd like to know how to use the spreadsheet, I'll leave a link to that video in the description. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.